good steward, Crow elder, also peyote roadman. Let many serve, World War II vet. He invited me to his home. I told him what happened, right? What happened? And then he kind of like, oh, interesting. And you built it, I'm like, yeah, I built this. Oh, interesting. So as we went back home, back to his home, he kind of whispered to my ear. He says, "Tonight, I want to show you how to do it, how to do the ceremony." And I was like, "What?" So that very night, we did the ceremony, and it's very intimate, as in the sweat lodge. You have to go in there naked. It's humility. When you first go in there, go back to the Mother Earth, the womb. And I remember I was like, a grandfather was really tight, skin to skin, and he was teaching me what to do, what to look for, the dangers, and everything from A to Z. So he died like maybe a year later. I used to call him. He died like a year later, and it broke my heart. It's like a granddad dying, But through the whole initiation process of the soil lodge ceremony, I said to myself, this is what I want to be. I want to lead in this capacity, to bring people closer to the earth.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, now this is what we're going to do first. It's traditional at these kind of gatherings to sing what's called an honoring song. And these honoring songs, as used to be many years ago, sung in honor of the veterans. And today we sing in honor of not only Native American veterans, but all veterans. These are the songs that we sing to honor them. I was just telling my good friend from Oklahoma, the Kiowa people have a black leggings dance each year in which they honor their people who serve in the armed forces. This goes on every single year. They have a special dance to honor their veterans. Veterans and all of those who are now serving in the armed forces. And it's important because we're here enjoying what we're doing here today because there are people who are defending what we're doing here and how we are living, and we don't want to forget them.
Thank you.
So when we sing this song, what we're going to do, we're going to ask you please, if you would for a moment, as we sing the song, to please stand to honor these veterans. I'm going to ask the Wild Band if they could give us a good honoring song. And I'm going to ask all of you please, for a moment, please stand. Gentlemen, remove your hats. And let's honor these veterans. I'm asking you to stand if you can possibly stand. This is for your veterans. This is for you. You may have someone who has served the armed forces. Let's honor them, please. It's not a lot to stand up for a few minutes.
Okay, welcome back. And we are joined with our guest, Luis Ramos. Your organization is called the Mobile Library?
Yeah, it's New York City Indigenous Mobile Library and Traveling Cultural Center.
Okay.
We go to all the 5 boroughs, especially where the old villages were and the burial sites, and we take the library there.
Wow.
Yeah, so people can understand where they're living and if they want to reconnect to their roots.
You have an event coming up for Columbus Day.
October 11th is the 8th annual Indigenous Day of Remembrance event. When a nation is honoring Christopher Columbus, on the day before, Indigenous people will be celebrating our ancestors. So we'll be having a lot of guests that day, you know, musicians and guest speakers. Talking about their ancestors, and it's a time where we can honor our history and what it's all about. And you know, it's going to be a wonderful day. And a lot of people, we're going to be at Merchants Gate, which is right across the street from Columbus statue.
Okay.
And right by Central Park. And we always attract like 200-300 people. We're going to have a sound system so the guest speakers could be heard. We're going to have drums. We're going to have different representation. So it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah. It's always nice there. The energy and the vibe is always good.
Yeah, definitely. And we always get good feedback from people that come by. And they, you know, it's funny. A lot of people will apologize. You know, say, "Man, we're sorry what my ancestors did, and how can I support you?"
Wow.
So we always say, just hang out right here, and you know, we need your good energy right now. You know, and the way I see it too, there's no time to celebrate until that statue comes down, you know, in Columbus Circle. As long as we keep representing at that circle, we'll make our own circle, you know, honoring the ancestors, because all things are possible through them. So
yeah,
and with the creator, creatress in the center, we should be cool, you know. And everyone's invited. You don't have to be native, you know. This year we actually have some dances of the African influence, you know, because once again, it's the slaves, African slaves, also suffered, you know, under the tyrant of Christopher Columbus.
We're gonna have to take a break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. In the news, Pope Francis is being criticized for his decision to canonize Junipero Serra, a Catholic missionary who brought Catholicism to California in the 18th century. The Pope's decision to elevate Serra to sainthood has been blasted by Native Americans in California because Serra helped to wipe out indigenous populations and enslave converts. The Santee Sioux tribe of South Dakota will open the nation's first marijuana resort on its reservation. The Justice Department outlined a new policy in June that allows Indian tribes to grow and sell marijuana under the same conditions as Colorado and Washington state, where it's been legalized for recreational use. Also in the news, the Navajos are angry with John McCain over a deal he secured which allows the sale of sacred lands to an international mining corporation. McCain was confronted by Native American activists while visiting Navajo country. An angry mob chased McCain on foot as they noticed him trying to escape through a backdoor exit to his convoy. That's today's news. Now, back to the show. You were saying the spiritual leader passed away, and you wanted to carry the torch.
Yeah, I want to carry that tradition and of bringing people together, you know. Maybe not so much as a consistent swear lodge ceremony, but somehow devise some kind of ceremony in which people could come as one, you know. At the time, I was living in Upper Manhattan, Washington Heights. There's a famous park up there called Inwood Hill Park.
Yes.
The home of the Lenape, Algonquin tribes.
Right.
And little by little, I started connecting with the land,
Okay.
you know, and with the energies there, the ancestors there. So I started doing ceremonies, you know. I used to do the equinoxes or just regular gatherings out in the woods.
Wow.
So I've been doing that ever since,
Wow.
since '97.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I got connected with the Taino community, and I learned how to research a lot of our traditions. That was most of it was well, I hate to use the word most of it, this phrase, but there was some elements that were lost because of the conquest.
Right.
So I really had to dig, and I had to investigate what people were doing, you know. And I found out, it brought me back to my great grandmother. It seems like a lot of stuff she was doing was borrowed from the indigenous. You know? So I had to kind of erase or edit. Okay, all right, this is definitely Catholic, or definitely maybe say it's African influence. Okay, so what's the indigenous? You know, what's the what I would call Taino? You know, so water was
your work cut out for you.
Yeah, definitely. Nothing's an accident. I feel, you know. Synchronicity is very crucial, and also the worldview where nothing's an accident. There's these connections. And I feel one day, you know, I made some calls, I made some contacts to see if one day I can go there, you know.
That would be great.
Yeah. And recently, it's interesting, a group of us, we started doing DNA testing.
Nice.
Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of these anthropologists and archaeologists, well, more anthropologists, or biogeneticists, you know, they don't believe that we exist.
Exactly.
You know, because they read those history books, and there's a lot of professors even here in the city who kind of like support that theory, the extinction myth.
Right. they wrote us out of the history books.
Yeah, exactly.
Paper genocide.
Exactly. So a group of us started doing the DNA.
Nice.
And at first I was like, I don't need that, but then I realized, wait a minute, maybe there's something to that, you know. After reading my friend's report. And then I did it, a couple of us did it. And one thing that I found amazing was that in this, you know, whoever took these tests, be it from Apache or California Native, Alaskan, you know, I say in the past year, I read at least 40 reports, you know, from my friends who gave me confidential, you know, gave me the consent to do this. We're all related, you know, all these tribes.
It's true.
Yeah, and one thing about a lot of these companies, which is interesting, they match you with your nearest, with your relatives who took the exam. So you're talking about
the DNA, the DNA relatives.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was like an extra perk because I started writing people. Like, what? Hey, it says you're my second cousin, whatever.
Right. Which company did y'all use?
23andMe.
That's one. Yeah, I use that.
Yo, you did that too?
The chief upstairs that you met. Yeah, he they use the same company, 23andMe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yep. Yeah, the DNA relatives.
Yeah. So I'm seeing this is another way of reconnecting the lost clans.
Yes, it is. I hate to bring this to a close,
right?
But we're gonna have to end the show for today. I didn't even realize the time, man. I want you to come back.
Oh, thank you. I'll be an honor.
And all right, thanks a lot. I'm Luis.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
Awesome,
folks. That's it for today, and we had a blast. And I hope you all enjoyed the show. And I hope you will join us next time. Until then, Dora Da, go home.